Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What if everything you thought you knew about Wang Yibo was just the surface? Today, we reveal an extraordinary chapter in the life of one of Asia's biggest stars. A tender kiss, a child held close, and a mother's embrace that may have silently rewritten celebrity history. Stay tuned, because what we're about to uncover will stir your heart and challenge the meaning of family as we know it. It was a moment no camera should have caught, yet every heart needed to see. In the ever-evolving world of celebrity, where every glance is dissected and every gesture analyzed, some moments break through the noise, not because they are staged, but because they are so deeply human. That's exactly what happened when Wang Yibo, known for his carefully maintained privacy and stoic public presence, was quietly observed doing something profoundly tender. He bent down, looked lovingly into the eyes of a young child, and placed a gentle kiss on the child's forehead. It wasn't part of a film scene. It wasn't a fan event. It was real, raw, intimate. What made the moment even more astonishing wasn't just the kiss itself, but what followed. Standing nearby was Wang Yibo's own mother, cradling the same child in her arms with effortless familiarity. She wasn't trying to hide or pose. Her expression spoke volumes. A soft smile, a knowing glance at Yibo, and a gentle sway that only someone deeply bonded with a child would naturally do. There was no performance here, no grand announcement or media statement, just a quiet, powerful gesture captured by the lens of a curious stranger. And in that fleeting instant, everything changed. Fans around the world were no longer speculating about dramas or gossip. They were witnessing the fragile, beautiful reality of what could only be described as family. In a world where personal boundaries are constantly invaded, Wang Yibo had somehow managed to keep this part of his life hidden. Not out of shame, but perhaps out of reverence. To love in silence, to raise a child without turning it into spectacle, is not weakness. It is grace. And now that the secret may be out, not through his words but through his actions, it's hard not to feel something shift within ourselves. Perhaps we are not simply witnessing a headline. Perhaps we are seeing a man who chose love over legacy, and a family bound not by declaration, but by devotion. He didn't speak, yet his presence said everything. In the blurred edges of the photographs that swept across social media, Wang Yibo wasn't the only figure drawing attention. Just out of the frame in some shots, clearly visible in others, stood Xiao Zhan, silent, composed, and unmistakably close. There was no spotlight on him, no staged interaction, no fanfare. But there was something else, something far more telling. Proximity that felt familiar, timing that felt intentional, and a quiet calm that can only come from belonging. He wasn't playing the role of a guest or a passing friend. He wasn't there to lend star power or draw attention. He was simply present during a moment of intimacy during what appeared to be a family outing. His body language was relaxed, unguarded, as though this was not new to him. Observers might call it coincidence, but the atmosphere told another story. In a world of calculated public appearances, this one felt deeply personal. He stood in the background not because he didn't matter, but because his place had already been established, long before any camera found them. Insiders would later claim that Xiao Jean has been a steady presence in the child's life for quite some time. Stories whispered behind closed doors now gain new weight, of him reading bedtime stories, sharing school pickups, exchanging inside jokes only children and their caretakers understand. And yet, there he was, never once announcing this to the world. There was no need. Love, when real, does not demand recognition. It simply shows up, day after day, moment by moment. There's something achingly beautiful about someone who chooses silence not out of fear, but out of loyalty. Xiao Zhan's silence in this situation has become louder than any statement. It speaks of commitment, of quiet sacrifice, of being there when it matters, not for fame, not for show, but for the people who call him family behind closed doors. And maybe that's the message we all need in a world addicted to noise. Sometimes, the truest kind of love isn't the one declared in headlines. It's the one carried quietly, in footsteps that follow close behind, in the kind of presence that never demands attention because it is already home. Love does not always announce itself. Sometimes, it unfolds in silence, in quiet gestures, in steady companionship, in the patient act of building something real without the need for validation. What we are witnessing between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan may not fit the traditional script of love that the world expects, but perhaps that's what makes it so powerful. It doesn't demand to be understood. It simply exists, quietly yet unshakably. For years, rumors swirled around them, speculations built from passing glances, subtle smiles, unspoken chemistry on and off screen. But they never confirmed, never explained, and never reacted to the noise. They let time answer the questions. And now, as fragments of their private life begin to surface, a shared child, a co-parenting rhythm, a presence that feels intimate and enduring, it no longer seems like rumor. It feels like a love story lived behind closed doors, away from the spotlight, nourished by trust and mutual respect. This is not the love of grand confessions or dramatic revelations. It is the kind of love that shows up without needing to be named. One that gently carries a child through life's early years. One that stands side by side through challenges and joys, without ever turning the sacred into spectacle. It is, perhaps, a more evolved love, one that rises above expectations and defies definition. What they have built together, if indeed what we are seeing is real, is a reflection of a modern truth. That family is not bound by form but by intention. That partnership is not always declared publicly, but felt privately, in the everyday choices we make for those we cherish. In an era where so much is performed for the world, their refusal to perform, yet quietly live out something meaningful, feels almost revolutionary. They may never confirm what the world wants to hear, but maybe they don't have to. Some love stories are not meant to be explained. They are meant to be witnessed, through the way a child smiles, the way two people stand together, and the quiet, unbreakable bond that lingers in the spaces between words. This is not just love. This is love redefined. Multiple insiders now confirm. This arrangement isn't new. The child, believed to be between 3 to 5 years old, has lived between both households. Nannies, extended family, and even assistants have quietly adjusted their lives to protect the young one's identity and security. Interestingly, educational experts note that the child has shown signs of emotional stability, indicating that the nurturing environment, though unconventional, is both intentional and loving. Observers point out that Yibo's mother didn't behave like a celebrity grandma avoiding attention. She looked calm, deeply engaged, and warmly familiar with the child's every move. Her body language wasn't rehearsed. It was real, pure, maternal. This moment was not a photo op. It was family. Of course, the entertainment world is buzzing. Major brands are reportedly holding private meetings, unsure whether to embrace this story as a tale of responsibility and maturity, or to withdraw for fear of controversy. But many fans argue, isn't this exactly the kind of role model we need? A man who loves deeply, protects quietly, and puts family above fame? This revelation is now sparking meaningful debate, not just in China, but worldwide. What defines a family? Can co-parenting exist outside marriage? Do public figures owe us a definition of their personal lives? In Japan, South Korea, France, and even the US, discussions on evolving family norms and celebrity boundaries are gaining traction. Some cultural leaders praise the pair for breaking social walls with grace and dignity, without ever saying a word. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of this story. It was never meant to be public. These weren't statements or PR stunts. They were accidental, unscripted glimpses into the private love of two people for one small human being who changed their lives forever. No filters, no captions, just real moments of quiet, generational care. Perhaps the message here isn't scandal, but sincerity. In a world built on image, two stars might have chosen something real. Something deeper than fame, family, in its purest and most courageous form. If the story moved you, inspired you, or simply made you see a different side of celebrity life, don't forget to subscribe to Star Watch now. We bring you the stories that matter, the moments that touch hearts, and the truth behind the headlines. Thank you for watching. Stay curious, stay kind, and we'll see you in the next video.